Oh, hey, Godstone. I haven't seen one of those for a while. You contrast the landscape even more now that everything's a nightmare. A golden glow greets you, the first warmth you felt since entering the darkness. Disheveled women and children huddle on one side of the Godstone while a dredge sits on the other. The dredge has arranged a circle of obsidian stones around itself, and just outside that lie bodies of a couple dead men. Ain't that a sight? Ollie grins. Then he frowns. I have a feeling this is about to become our problem. Probably. Did the stones attack anyone that attacks the dredge or something? Like they're both... It makes sense. I can imagine that like both humans and dredge are like hiding here in the shelter of the Godstone that apparently protects from the darkness, but they're at war with each other because, you know, history. Praise the gods, someone has finally come carrying a divine light. Not exactly. The matronly woman's face falls as she gets a better look at you. I know that crest. Ravens. She points with an accusing, shaking figure toward the stone singer. What is this? Have you brought more dredge to slaughter us? The stone hurler stands within a ring of stones, warbling loudly as you approach the Godstone. The old woman recoils in disgust. Castaway. That's quite a sight. We're getting a lot, yeah, plenty of indication that these things are actually intelligent. Well, how interesting. This one is terrified of you, Ivor. How do you know that? Because she said so, called you Destroyer. I've heard of the Destroyer before, but I had no idea I was traveling with him. Is it really you? They speak of you like we do, Bellower. Thought you'd be bigger. It's a misunderstanding. Where would you hear such a thing? Traveling with the Valka. But you do not know where we are headed? You're an interesting one, Ivor. We should talk more. The old woman rejoins you again after a heated battle of whispers with her kin. She clears her throat. I am called Hilda. We came here to pray when the sky is darkened. I guess I don't need to tell you we're the only ones alive now because of this Godstone. A miracle. And they say the gods are dead. Then this slag comes from nowhere. It attacks us. Killed their husbands and mine as well. Aye, a right miserable sow. Sucker he was. But an injustice to be killed by this thing. She gestures rudely at the stone hurler. It makes a hissing sound like escaping steam. Quiet, filthy thing. It'll take us somewhere safe, surely. Surely you will. The opposite. You don't want to go where we're going. Gods alive, has everyone lost their minds? At least give us justice. Don't leave this slag alive to kill us and eat our children. Alfred, what's the dredge's side of the story? Hilda bristles at the implication. Alfred taps her spear and the horns vibrate with a faint hum. The dredge sings a soft response. She says they left her no choice but to defend herself. Stuck here, same as them. By the gods, we've been found by the only slag lovers in the dying world. She snatches something shiny from the hands of one of her kin, waving it in front of you. This is what the ravens need, isn't it, you disgusting vultures? Family heirloom, worth more than it looks. I say we just bring the stone hurler along with us, Ivor. I mean, we've already got one. You said it was terrified of me. Then she won't put much of a struggle, will she? What are you talking about? Kill it already. Kill it. You can just leave, say, fuck this whole situation. Convince the stone hurler to come along, Alfred. Alfred speaks to the dredge again. It shows little emotion, but that may just be because it lacks facial expression. Quite the motley crew you've gathered, Destroyer. Don't call me that. I'm serious. Hilda pockets her heirloom, offering only low curses, angry that the dredge lives on. Are we just gonna leave immediately? Or are we gonna rest here? I imagine we can rest here safely, right? Even safely from Bulwark, who seems to be members of the corruption, because it seems like none of the corruption can reach the Godstone or something. Otherwise, how are these people alive? Presumably? That's my takeaway. Although, in universe, I don't know if we have that much reason to rest. I mean, mechanically, I don't know if we have much reason to rest. It's the story that suggests resting. Alfred finds a quiet moment to make her way over to you, leaning on her staff. Why didn't you tell me, Varl? Tell you what? About being the destroyer. It isn't something that comes up often in conversation. You'll have to excuse me. I don't always know how to speak with people. I spent a lot of time alone, or with the sculptors. Sculptors? Well, more precisely, they say something like, "We who shape the stone," but it's close enough. You didn't think the dredge called themselves dredge, did you? There's quite a lot I've learned from them. Some things you may know. Many secret. Alfred awaits your reply. How'd you learn mending out here on your own? Mending? Bah, call it what it is. We pluck at the threads of reality. Almost anyone can see them, but you know how to, if you know how to look. Who do you think taught the teachers? The gods. And who taught the gods? Even godlier gods? Anyway, you see my point. Don't think so highly of your mender friends. They're more dangerous than they let on. How do you mean? I trained to be a mender when I was just a girl. They tried to kill me, believe it or not. The Varl right there was the one sent to do it. She points to the figure of Bercy snoozing on the hard ground. I don't think he even remembers me. I looked a little different back then. But I escaped. Not before learning some things. They trained their simple-minded menders to heal stubbed toes and raised walls. It's a fine distraction from the powers the Valkyr really wield. But if an apprentice doesn't have the skill to control their power, they're a threat to the mender's reputation. If you show too much skill, well, you're an even bigger threat. Alfred waits. The sculptors see you as an ally? You all need to stop looking at everything as us and them. Some of them are friends, others are not. The same as any people, anywhere. She calls her dredge ally to join you. Evie is one of the new breed. He's a diplomat like me. New? The first dredge were all made by a real bastard of a god to kill and to destroy. But they learned to make their own kind, a second generation of sculptors who see a different fate. They can change Varl, and even the first dredge see this change. There was even a sundered chime, who could echo any sound and any language. She spoke for the new generation of dredge. Chime wanted a peaceful resolution to turn back the darkness and save them. She was killed at Grofheim in the Calamity. By her own kind. We decided to carry on her mission. Kiwi nods his head slowly and makes a low tone. He says he has no hatred of you, Ivor, and no fear. Alfred awaits your reply. What kind of secrets are you talking about? What, for nothing? I'm nothing if not a trader of knowledge, you know. The rarest secrets don't come cheap. How about this? In exchange for telling me how you became the destroyer, I'll tell you something you may find quite important. What do you say? How do I know I can trust you? Trust me to do what? Not chisel in this godstone? I suppose that's for you to decide. What do you say? You promise to keep it to yourself? I do. The Sunder I killed. Raise. It was no legendary battle. When I brought her head back to the other Varl, they invented their own stories. The truth is I got separated from my allies, and found her out in the snowstorm, alone. She was cradling an infant. My axe accidentally killed the child. She didn't even put up a fight after that. Indeed. It was Bellower's child, Ivor. How can you... Are you certain? Completely. consider that our trade. There is more to tell. At another time, maybe. Alfred awaits your reply. We should be going soon. After you. Just one more thing. Are those Varl horns on your staff? Alfred laughs with a genuine mirth. Nothing to worry about, Ivor. They were a gift that I treasure very much. You see, I have friends of all sorts. But as you said, we should be going. Another story for another time, perhaps? Morale improved from doing a talk. Bellower's child. Wasn't Bellower the same person that... Let's see. I'm double checking because it's a little hard to keep the names straight for some of these characters, but I thought Bellower was the same. Yeah. Right. Okay, so I'm remembering the right character. So Bellower was the same boss from the end of Banner Saga 1 that leads to the Silver Arrow Gambit you do with either Rook or Alette that leads to one of their deaths. I think that might have even led to Ivor's... Let's see. I'm trying to remember how Ivor lost his arm. It's hard to confirm right off the bat here. I was trying to double check to see if Ivor lost his arm that way too, or if it was something else. There's a lot of specific details to go by. Because narratively, it'd be interesting if Ivor killed Bellower's child with an axe, then gained a reputation for killing a Sunder that didn't even fight back, and then Bellower went on that huge hunt after Ivor specifically because Ivor killed his child. Like, that would make some sense. But it's hard to really specifically look up that information on the fly. Unfortunately, the recaps of these games are very underwhelming. When you launch Banner Saga 2 or 3, there's a recap that explains the story up to that point. The one for Banner Saga 2 was like 90 seconds long, and for some reason Banner Saga 3's recap is even shorter than the one for 2, even though it has twice as much story to recap, presumably. It really it basically just tells you that the reason why Ruga's a pain in the ass, and it tells you that the mages are off to try to stop the darkness. And that's basically all it tells you. It's so quick. I guess you guys, I think I showed you that at the beginning of the playthrough or something. It's underwhelming. They don't recap nearly as much as they should for how much story they have, unfortunately. It'd be handy if the recap was a bit more helpful so I could have this information straight without having to replay the entire game. But either way, Bellower's the one that killed either Rook or Alette. And we are the ones that killed his child, apparently, Ivor. And the biggest gut punch of that whole damn situation is the fact that Bellower doesn't even die in Banner Saga 1. You do all that shit to try to stop him, and then he comes back in Banner Saga 2 for the big, I think he's there during the big siege of the Varl city, if I remember correctly. Let's see. You notice Folka standing alone, arms crossed, sporting a deadly scowl. Everything all right? Yeah, we're doing great. Our leader is hunting us down, we've been kidnapped by witches, and now we're arguing about how many dredge we can save along the way. It's the kind of thing that a little girl grows up dreaming about. I get your point. She glares at you through narrow eyes. How did a woman get accepted by the Ravens anyway? Is this the part where you ask me about my past and we talk about family and hug? Eat some black snow, Varl. These guys all chose to be here just like me, that's the truth. That's all the family you need to know about. Considering you didn't even mention family, you doubt that's the whole story, but you let it drop. Yeah, she seems to specifically have an attachment to or past baggage about family specifically, you still care about Bulwark. Are you trying to piss me off? Imagine little Alette hunting you through the darkness, trying to rip your throat out. Now imagine some arse accuses you of having feelings about it. You notice Folko's hand instinctively go to the axe Bulwark had thrown at Ervand a few days back. What do you plan to do with that axe? Its name is Claw. And what I plan to do with it is my business. Can we agree to keep it tucked away? If the sight of it scares you, then yes, I'll keep it safe and snug right here. I'm not suicidal, Ivor. I'm not going to plant it in Navalka's skull. Not right now. Are you always this pleasant to be around? I never asked to be around you. I always heard the Varl like their space. You're not wrong. Must be nice to be accepted for something like that. My kind treats you like you're diseased if you don't act right, but the Ravens, they don't judge. It's not like I want to be completely alone. I just don't need tedious, pointless conversations with every idiot who has an idiot opinion. Go on. Oh, damn it all. You got me talking about my... Are we done here? We should keep moving. I get why you came over now. Juno's ready to go. No, I came on my own. You know, I used to be great at telling when someone's lying, but it sure is harder these days, isn't it? You know what I mean? Let's get something straight. I'll take talking to you over Juno, but you're no Raven. And whatever happened to Bulwark, I'm not convinced that he doesn't have a good reason for what he's doing. Don't give me a reason to let him. And don't try to get close and friendly. Alright, Folka. You made yourself clear. Good. Then we might get along. Now excuse me while I gather the unkindness. Unkindness? That's what they call a flock of ravens, Ivor. Fitting, don't you think? She didn't like talking to me, but morale improved anyway, so yeah. Do I have any reason to look at heroes? Sigbjorn is injured for 3 days, which does that mean he has -3? Does that mean -3 strength? Is that how that works? They're still basically identical. Almost eerily so. I've got so many Varl. And Bercy doesn't even remember that he was on a mission to kill Alfrun in the past. Unnerving. A bit uncomfortable. So here's Castaway. Our first more straightforward dredge. Because we have a spellcaster and we have the Varl-like giant one, but this is our first like relatively normal one. Sunstrike. Character strikes her target solidly in the head, leaving the target dazed and unable to exert himself for anything more than basic actions for a round. Useful for locking down enemies with particularly dangerous abilities, among other things. So it does strength damage or strength damage +1 or 2. But it's basically just a normal attack that deletes their ability to use abilities, more or less. Shatterstone. If the character throws an unstable Shatterstone into the field, although not powerful as a stable Shatterstone, it explodes immediately. Because the Shatterstone will hurt anyone around it, choosing where it lands is critical. So, lose 1, 2, or 3 armor and strength. And it's an AoE? Right. And there's a character that runs away when they take damage. That might be the first time I've had access to that ability so far. All of their stats come pre-maxed out. Okay. Wow, I have 93 already? Didn't I just spend all of it? So I'm back up to having a ton of it again. Always go for that crit. I have a problem. A crit problem. You're a 10. I feel like I should at least use them in combat first before I try to figure out whether or not I want to try to level them up. I do like the idea of running around with a bunch of dredge in the party. That sounds like fun. But also right now, let's see, did you come with an item? Nope, not really. 1 armor per turn. This is what we got from the boss fight. The jeweled petal ring. Someone else's perfectly formed memory presents itself to anyone who places these jeweled petals on their finger. Bonus damage when stationary. +3 will, 1 will per turn. 1 break, 2 will, +2 to will talents. So if you're a will person, this is just a will specialty. Bonus strength damage when stationary. What are you using? Just a little bit of distance. The will per turn is probably a better thing. Oh, right, but you can't use it because you're low level. Can anyone use it? No one. I don't have a level 12. I almost have level 12. I could probably make level 12 right now. I probably should right now. Probably max out Ivor's talent right now. Boom. So now he's got +2 strength, +2 armor, and 1 strength resist, which is great. I'm happy with that. And Kiwi's pretty badass. Let's make them even more badass. Click. Alright, 1 armor, 2 strength, and then 1 resist of each. So now they're both just noticeably harder to kill, just across the board. Cool. Pharisee's not ready to level up. One more kill before that happens. You do seem neat, but your stats just are not mind-blowing. Let's see. Chance of regen of willpower is not a bad thing to upgrade, I suppose. Kind of, except she already has willpower kind of figured out. I need her to have more willpower. I think I'll stick it out with her. Unless I want to go further on Ivan. Ivan definitely can be dangerous. It's just kind of up in the air as to whether the scenario will present itself. Maybe I just won't spend any more, or maybe I'll just level up Ivor again. Give him some talent points. This is maxed out. So he has puncture, he has crit. A 50% chance to just not die is neat, but it's kind of a bummer because when you're at that level of reduced health, you're kind of at risk of just, you're kind of at the point just kind of at risk of, like, being shit. Like, congratulations, you avoided death, but, like, you were so low that you could be killed, which means you already have crappy strength and aren't the biggest priority. Trying to avoid things is more welcoming. I don't usually need a bonus hit chance because his hit chance is so high. Yeah. Just start going into stuff that makes me avoid damage at this point. Why not, right? These levels get way cheaper, don't they? That's interesting. I guess the idea is that once you're past level 10, all you're doing is getting talent points, so they just don't value it as much. So I could more or less just max this character out. Fuck it! Overinvestment! Oh wait, now he's level 15. He's actually at capped level now. Now it just tells me how many kills he has. Alright, so... Can he even spend all of his points? Let's see, a chance to, oh yeah, he can. He only has 8 points to spend, and there's 9 places to spend them, technically. So, avoid strength attack. Increased chance to regen, I suppose. And then chance, yeah, let's go for regenning willpower. In fact, let's go to that over this minor regen. There we go. Because So the willpower can make a huge difference. Boom, Ivor's my first maxed out character at level 15. Did I change the other item? Not that great for him specifically. 1 will per turn, 1 break, 2 will talents. Which that would mean he would have a 20% chance to gain 5 willpower. Still 20%. That's the frustrating part, is that the 20% doesn't go higher. Whereas this just complements what he already has. I gave him the chance to... I gave him chances of avoiding types of damage, and this adds to that, in addition to already having bonus resist. And then his title also gives him a bonus strength resist. So now he has a strength resist of 2, which is great, because he's also very strong. So Ivor is just a goddamn nightmare, basically. Congratulations, Ivor. You're terrifying. There we go. He has 4 armor break. I'm psyched about that. Okay. That's pretty good. Kiwi and Ivor, we're gonna get things done. Let's give Castaway a shot this time. What does Ditch do? You're just identical to Bear Guy, but you don't have the bear, right? Because you can just give other people willpower sometimes. Which has not really scaled over time. And a lot of these guys I don't like very much. Pretty much just Castaway or Folka. I'll give Castaway a shot. Let's go find a fight. Or more talking, I suppose. Living Legend, you get 5 renown just for making him max level, apparently? Okay. Leave. Is that every single playable character down there? That's oh, okay. Kinda want to freeze frame it and try to identify all of them. I think that might just be every playable character in my party, all in one line together, which is interesting. Normally it's a weird mob, and I haven't been able to tell if my characters are in there, but some of the Varl stand out. But in there I realized that there's the 3 Varl in my party, and I wondered if I counted every individual character, if I'd recognize them all, because I can also see the one I can see Kiwi in there. Does it worry anyone else that they've somehow gotten ahead of us? Asks Valgard. What once was a hill that had been twisted into a thin strip of land, pulled long like a spider silk, with a deep drop beneath. Warped shamble back and forth across it, but Bulwark is nowhere in sight. They don't need rest, Folka realizes with a shudder. Bulwark can't confront us directly, not while the Valka live. He's going to thin the herd all the way to Ridgehorn. Pain, spits Oli. It's exactly what we'd do, isn't it? I hate it. You consider an approach. Let's see. You can fight your way across the land bridge as quickly as possible. Make a shield wall and push slowly. I'm gonna ask for Folka's advice. Isn't she an authority on this? If it were us, we'd lure them across, lay archers to hit them from the wings, while spears come up to fill the retreat, says Folka. Something tells me the Warped can't coordinate like ravens, though. But what would Bulwark do with a bunch of drunk idiots? Folka mutters and thinks for a while. He'd make it look like a trap, so he'd try to get fancy. My gut says we just rush it. Ollie's already drawn an axe. Then fucking go for it! Nobody stops till we're across, you bark. The ravens advance quickly. The Warped are slow to respond. Slingers! Shouts Folka, noting Warped dredge hiding just over the ridge. Rush 'em! Straight into a fight? Straight into a fight.